Coming up this week, off-screen.
Dev Patel is a lion.
James McAvoy is split.
Xander Cage returns.
The Goodfellas are back.
And Ben Milner becomes iBoy.
All those to come and more, off-screen.
This is Off-Screen. Off-Screen. With the latest film news and reviews, this is Off-Screen, the on-screen radio show.
Ooh, welcome to Off-Screen. I'm Van Connor.
And I am Kase Allen.
So, Mr. Allen, before we start with the box office top 10, with the film news, the film reviews, how about we start with, what have you got big in the film news for me this week?
This is pretty big, and it's been spoken about for a while, but do you know Sony, that big old company?
That big old company, yeah, they've got, they're delving into a lot of animated stuff at the minute, aren't they? Smurfs and things like that.
Exactly. But a big animated project they're doing is an untitled animated Spider-Man film.
Oh, yes, it is untitled, isn't it? This is the one is it written by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who did the Lego movie, or are they producing it?
Indeed. I think they're still attached as producers, but they've definitely written the script. I don't think they're going to be directing at this stage because they are away playing with their Star Wars toys.
They have a Falcon to be playing with of the millennial variety.
But it has now been confirmed that the Spider-Man we will be seeing is going to be Miles Morales.
So he's not Peter Parker. They're going with the other one. Now, this is quite clever because this differentiates it from the Marvel Cinematic Universe version, which is going to be that's Peter Parker. Yeah. We've seen him in Civil War. Miles Morales.
We've seen him many times. We always see Peter Parker.
Well, he's an interesting character because I've known him from the cartoons. I've never read the comics that he's in.
Yeah,
and
I know that he is
he's Black Hispanic.
Yeah, he's Black Hispanic.
And he has all the powers of Spider-Man.
Not his uncle, obviously, like Peter Parker. It's like a stepdad or something. I need to look more into his backstory. But
we'll find out.
Yeah.
The thing I remember, though, is he has Peter Parker's powers, but he also has the power of invisibility and a venom sting that paralyzes his enemies. So
it kind of makes sense why he's got like a black and red suit.
Yeah, is this Christmas next year? Cool. Is this Christmas 2018?
It is. It's currently dated at the 21st of December 2018.
It's such a weird little project to be coming out, isn't it?
Yeah, and it'll be around the time of a Star Wars film.
Yes.
Yeah, the Han Solo Star Wars film.
Which will be the
Phil Lord Christmas. Yeah, so I am on board for that, absolutely. I feel like that must have been part of the deal that Sony worked out with Marvel.
I think there had to be some sort of sign-off on it. But okay, so let's get the first half of the top 10 out of the way for this week. Now.
Number 10.
Why him?
Well, because he's very funny when he's paired with Bryan Cranston, seems to be the answer.
Then that's fine.
That's fine.
That's all right.
That's all you need to know. I mean, it is the brilliant part of Why Him is that the concept is so universal. I remember showing my uncle the trailer months back, and my uncle has two daughters, and he said, that's every dad's worst nightmare. That right there, that concept, that's
that
every dad's. And, you know, I can see, it is like a reverse Meet the Parents. It's the dad meeting the first boyfriend to be brought home, and you think, okay, I can see why this is so rife for comedic material. Having Cranston as the straight man, James Franco being just an exaggerated version of James Franco, that works. Having Keegan-Michael Key, Megan Mullally and Zoe Deutsch in there, brilliant.
Really good supporting cast, isn't it?
Really good supporting cast. And then Adam Devine turns up, Casey Wilson, the guy whose name I can never remember. It's pretty good fun. I recommend it. I think you'll have a good time with it.
Number 9.
The Bye-Bye Man.
Which was not press shown, and apparently is rubbish, so I can't help but think that might not be a coincidence.
Number 8.
Fantastical Beasticles.
Fantastical Beasticles, I like that.
Fantastical Beasticles.
The weird thing is, I saw a film news article the other day that said Zoe Kravitz excited about her expanded role in Fantastic Beasts. And it took me a minute to remember, oh yeah, she's there as a still image for a second.
Yeah, so an expanded role sho'll be there for like 30 seconds.
Four movies.
So she's going to be playing Lisa Lestrange.
Yeah, because that's Eddie Redmayne's ex or something.
They've had a past.
Said there's something like that. As a start for a new franchise, it's intriguing enough to work. I think, as you pointed out, taking it to America is the biggest.
That's what really. That's what definitely stands it apart.
Anything else for you that really sold it to you? So I don't know.
I mean, I was a bit baffled by Colin Farrell's hair.
There was that. I keep wondering how many of these movies we have to go through before they get Hugh Bonneville involved. Because a movie can only
be the next one.
A movie can only be so British before you get Hugh Bonneville.
Yeah, there's a very, very short list of British people that have not yet been in a Harry Potter film.
Number 7.
Live by Night.
Which is a passion project without any passion, and I can't think of a nicer way to say it than that. It looks nice. It looks nice. Ben Affleck can't find a suit that fits, to be fair. But, any still image you find for this movie, any clip, I guarantee he's wearing a badly
he's
fitting
wearing
suit.
like a really oversized cream suit in like every single promo image, isn't he?
I mean, the weird thing is, it's not a bad film. It's just strangely lifeless. It feels like it's the most sort of
It's come from a guy that gave us The Town and Argo and Gone Baby Gone, and that is such a great free for free.
It is, and then you get to this and you're like, okay, then. Nice try, Ben. Perhaps next time find. I don't know if it's source material issue, but maybe it's his writing because he's written this. I don't know. It doesn't work for me. I don't think anyone's going to come out of this film loving it.
Just watch The Untouchables.
Just watch The Untouchables. There you go.
Number 6.
Manchester by the Sea,
which I loved.
Which I still haven't seen. Thank you very much to certain cinema chains.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not showing it. Is it View and Odeon aren't showing it this week?
Odeon are showing it from this Friday, but they weren't showing it from day of release. And View aren't showing it.
Are we sure it's not just a staggered release? It's not like a rollout thing?
No,
it's unusual in the UK.
It is supposed to be wide, like everywhere. And I went on Odeon's Twitter feed, and a lot of people were making their displeasure known.
Good to know. Yeah. This is the thing. I really love this film. I mean, you're when you see it, I think you're going to be gushing about it next week.
I can't wait.
And this is one of those predictions, like when we predicted you and Arrival. I'm that certain you will enjoy Manchester by the Sea.
I've been a big fan of Kase Affleck.
Yeah,
for so long.
Great.
Again, Gone Baby Gone.
Yeah, Kenneth Lonergan. Great script, fantastic script. Great direction. Wonderful support from Michelle Williams, from Kyle Chandler, and I think it's Lucas Hedges who plays the nephew. Really, really great film that will take you to tears, to hysterics, and back again. And I love that about it. And you don't quite know where it's going. It goes non-linear, but it does it with pathos. It does it with great meaning. It's not done for the sake of it or to be unnecessarily artsy. And I really, really love that about it. It's a film I can't wait to see again. And this is the problem with Oscar season, because we kind of barrel through all the Oscar movies in the race to March.
It's March.
Yeah.
And then Logan is here.
Exactly. We barrel through it to the end of February, and then all of a sudden we get walloped by. We get a couple of weeks of chuffer, as Bruce Willis used to call it. You don't know that? When he was filming, when he was filming Cop Out, he would tear the pages out of the script, say chuffer, because that's his word for rubbish.
That's weird. I just opened up my Mac and I just saw a picture of Kevin Smith. Weirder when you said Cop Out.
Is that on the front page of IMDb, mate?
It is.
There you go.
It is.
Well, we should plug the podcast real quick.
Let us
plug. If you want the extended version of this show with all the extra film news, with all the extra reviews, with the moment of Cage, with our witty general banter, with the point at which we put on smoking jackets,
added rambling.
But
there's smoking jackets. Yeah.
We sit by the hot tub. We share a scotch. There's a cigar each. It's our after dark edition.
Can we not have a scotch each this time?
No, maybe not. But
I'm sticking up, just having my own scotch.
We share, man. It's conservative. So yeah, we've got the full extended version. You just download the free podcast edition. It's on iTunes. It's on Acast. It's on TuneIn, of all places. It's on Deezer. It's just pick your podcast platform. Type in Offscreen. It's on there. Download it. You'll love it.
I thought you were going to say pick your podcast poison, man.
Ooh, that was pick your podcast poison.
That's some good alliteration.
That is, isn't it? That would be so good. Right. So, do you know what? Not really a review, but I've got to talk about Goodfellas.
Yes.
Because
you do.
This is being reissued this week. I think it's coming out to the BFI. And it's not just being reissued, it's been given a full 4K restoration.
Yeah.
And I got shown this. And, okay, so plot of Goodfellas, if there's 3 people in the world that don't know, is the story of Henry Hill, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he's played by Ray Liotta, and it's his life growing into the mafia, isn't it?
Yeah. Kind of charts from being a small boy and then meeting certain people and...
meets Bobby De Niro and Joe Pesci and basically
Tommy DeVito.
Yeah, grows into through the 70s and 80s. Really, it is 70s and 80s, and it stops at about 1990.
Stops on 1990.
Yeah, and all based on a true story as well, which is the part that we always forget about Goodfellas.
It is. Yeah, the actual Henry Hill, he passed away like only a few short years.
A couple of years ago, wasn't it? Yeah,
not too long back.
But do you know what? I got to see this on the big screen again. And
How was that?
I saw it once at like a cult classic screen.
Yeah, I think
seeing
I did,
it
actually.
Scrubbed up now, fully decked out on the BFI screen. Wow, still looks great. Still the Scorsese masterpiece. Well, it's in the top 5 Scorsese masterpieces.
I would easily put it in the top 5.
It's top 5 for sure. But,
it's one of those, like, put it in the top 5, but then it'd be a fantastic double bill, this and Casino.
Yes. In fact, I said that when I went in, I actually asked them if any chance you're going to reissue Casino next, because that would be really good.
Isn't this part of, like, a Scorsese season?
He has got a lot out at the moment. Yeah.
Taxi Driver, they've done, like, a restoration for...
Wolf of Wall Street, I think, has got something out as well.
Do you know, I saw that on Film 4.
It has been on Film 4,
it's been up there, like, a couple of times. I forget how good that film was.
I always feel bad. Two points to this. I always feel bad, Wolf of Wall Street, because I want to watch it so often. I always want to watch Wolf of Wall Street. But the second thing is, having seen Goodfellas again so recently now, the comparison I made when I reviewed Wolf of Wall Street 3-4 years ago now, was it?
I don't think it was that long ago. It was
3 years ago, at least.
It was 3 years ago.
3 years ago. That Wolf of Wall Street really was Goodfellas for bankers. It really is. The plot really does follow Wolf of Wall Street.
It's the whole narration.
It is.
It's the narration parallel with Jordan Belfort and Henry
and
Hill.
The breaking of the fourth wall, and loved it. Absolutely loved it. Yeah. If you've never seen Goodfellas,
why?
You owe it to the art of cinema.
If the gangster film you go see this week is Live by Night and not this, what's wrong with you?
Something wrong, yeah. Go and see Goodfellas. Ignore Live by Night. That's rubbish. You can catch it on Netflix in a couple of years. Go and see Goodfellas. See it on the big screen. Enjoy that wonderful, nostalgic soundtrack, the Scorsese direction, that tracking shot. You know the one. That wonderful performances by De Niro. Remember when we got to say that De Niro put in a great performance?
Like in the film Dirty Grandpa.
Yeah, exactly like that, yeah. But great performance from Joe Pesci, who at that point is...
won an Oscar. Has my favourite ever Oscar acceptance speech.
Really?
Yeah. He's announced as the winner, rocks up, says, "Thank you very much, this means a lot." Gone. That's it.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's like Jarvis Cocker accepting a Brit. He walked up and went, "Ta," and left.
Yeah, everything you need.
Everything you need and more. But yeah, go and see Goodfellas. It is being reissued from this coming Friday. Do go and see it. It is so worth your time.
With the latest film news and reviews. This is Offscreen, the on-screen radio show.
And we're back. And you know who else is back this week, Mr. Allen?
Who is that?
Xander Cage. Remember Xander Cage?
I do. I do remember Xander Cage.
Sort of forgettable movie about 15 years ago. 14 years ago now.
You should know. You have the XXX logo tattooed on your arm.
I do. I really do. Funnily enough, there is a plot point throughout XXX in which you do wonder why that tattoo is mysteriously not appearing in other places, and I will get to exactly why in a moment.
Did he have it on his neck?
It's on his... Right, it comes from Vin Diesel's neck. That's where the name XXX comes from. Right. Okay, so here's the weird thing with this one. Before I get to the plot, I just want to point out that Vin Diesel was asked to make XXX2. He was contracted to make XXX2. There was a disagreement about the script. He got really annoyed about it. They didn't use the script he wanted, and this strangely bears an uncanny resemblance to the concept that Vin Diesel wanted. Coincidentally, the film is also produced by Vin Diesel, which the first two weren't.
He's got a lot of clout now, hasn't he?
So it seems that. He's got a lot of clout and absolutely no solo appeal, it seems. So, right, it is now 14 years on from the first XXX. It is 11 years on from Ice Cube becoming the second XXX.
I saw it for the first time a couple of days ago.
Really? I know you haven't.
Yeah, it's not too bad, actually.
The idea now is there is a new group of criminals who basically have all the abilities of XXX himself, but there's multiple ones of them. They have slightly different specialities. They are Donnie Yen, Tony Jaa, and Deepika Padukone. That's it. Yeah. Padukone? Can't remember. Right. They have stolen an NSA MacGuffin, which is a foldable tablet that controls satellites, and they are using these satellites as...
I'm sure that this was actually in a Fast film.
I'm getting there. They're using these satellites as weapons, actually flying them kamikaze style into targets, including Samuel L. Jackson's Augustus Gibbons, the head of the XXX program.
Such a good name.
Exactly. Gibbons. Augustus Gibbons. Right. With Gibbons out the way, the head, I think she's the head of the NSA, who's played by Toni Collette, she tracks down Xander Cage, who, wouldn't you believe, isn't dead like we were told at the beginning of XXX2.
What a shocker.
Exactly. We were told at the beginning of XXX2, and we were also told separately in that DVD bonus short film, The Death of Xander Cage, which was on the special edition DVD of the first XXX, the Extreme Edition. So they have two ways that Xander Cage has died, but actually neither of them are real, and it turns out the only reason we had to have XXX2 with Ice Cube is because Xander Cage wanted the morning off. That is basically it. So you're already on shaky ground when this film begins. Xander Cage is brought out of retirement. He is asked to avenge his friend and track down these three would-be hoodlums. There's slightly more to it than meets the eye. He insists on working with his own team, despite the fact that both the previous XXX missions were solo ones. Right. And so he recruits Ruby Rose, Nina Dobrev, the Hound from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I've just seen that on IMDb. Yeah. Amazing.
Weird thing. And
Roy McGann.
Yeah, and some other weird guy you can't remember whose ability seems to be DJing. And
because you always need a DJ.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, his talent is listed as a good guy to be around.
That would be my superpower.
That really is.
Playing music in kitchens and parties.
Shall we have a clip of Xander Cage meeting Nina Dobrev's techie character?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Xander Cage. This is crazy. I was at Coachella and Guns N' Roses got back together, but this is way cooler.
Breathe. Take your time. I know mouth to mouth if necessary.
Wow.
Clearidge worked closely with Gibbons. She'll handle support for the operation.
And I bet a guy like you needs a lot of support. What are you, like 220, 230? Be honest. 250 is like the hard max for my swing.
Oh, come on.
I'm kidding. It's not like I have a safe word or anything. It's kumquat.
So, Vin Diesel there with Toni Collette, with Nina Dobrev. You've been looking up images of Nina Dobrev in XXX Return of Xander Cage, which is
just because I'd never seen her.
Yeah, she's the chick from the Vampire Diaries and Let's Be Cops. She was the love interest in Let's Be
Yes,
Cops.
yeah.
So here's the funny thing. Right, it is more of the same. By default, it is the best of the trilogy thus far. By default, because let's be really honest about the XXX series. There's a pretty low bar going on. They are, in every case, and I'm including this one, great concepts that then somehow go off the rails. They never quite manage to hit the mark. And yeah, I say somehow, the realistic problem with the XXX series, and you may agree with this, is they have a distinct personality. They have a subculture that they want to tap into. In the first case, it was new metal and extreme sports.
Yep.
In the second case, it was hip-hop. And urban culture.
So what about this one?
There is no personality. But in every case, it seems to miss the mark by it wants to be alternative, it wants to be edgy, it wants to be extreme, which is a word that strangely keeps appearing. And yet, it refuses to give us anything other than the watered-down PG-13 content that it really has to pander to.
Yeah, it was initially kind of billed as like Bond for... Yeah.
This one really...
For that kind of generation, isn't it?
It really, really wants to be Mission Impossible on Monster Energy drink.
That's totally,
what it wants to be. In reality, it really does play like a Bond movie by way of Too Fast, Too Furious. Note there that I did specifically say the worst of that series. Yeah. And because
if you said like Fast Five, I'd be buying a ticket tomorrow.
Put it this way, this film genuinely is so mediocre at times that you genuinely pray The Rock turns up in the next one as the added value element.
He is franchise biographer.
He is franchise biographer, and this franchise really sorely is a bit limp.
Although I will give it some props on what I've just seen on IMDb. Because Pacific Rim, that has been one of my favourite films when it comes to names of characters.
Go on, what have you got?
I mean, you've seen this film. There is some absolutely grade A, tremendous...
Please give me some great names. I'll be honest, the film is so forgettable. You will not remember half of them.
Ruby Rose plays Adele Wolfe with 2 Fs.
Yes, she does,
There's a character called Serena Unger.
Yep, there is.
Tennyson Torch. What? That's incredible. Augustus Gibbons, obviously.
Augustus Gibbons, yeah.
There's some great ones here. Tony Jaa plays a guy called Talon.
Right, here's the weird thing. So I want to talk specifically about Donnie, because Vin Diesel is mugging it up to like a Roger Moore-like degree at times in here.
That's a shame. What about Donnie Yen?
That's what I'm going with, Donnie Yen, though.
Donnie Yen is kind of like riding a really good wave.
He really is.
Now, isn't he?
Given 10 times the screen time that he had in Rogue One, makes about 10% of the impact. However... he's still the best thing in the film. It doesn't have anywhere near the frenzied chops that the first one did. However, it is more competently directed than the second. The music at times which is by Brian Tyler, who did a few of the Avengers movies, is really overpowering and ridiculous. The plot is nonsensical to the point that it trips itself up. At one point, they introduce a twist about halfway through this movie. They repurpose the MacGuffin concept to the degree that actually makes it null and void, and you kind of sit there and think, hang on a minute, that means the first half of this movie was for nothing, and yet you still want to do the same thing. And okay, never mind. It is ludicrous. You can predict every beat in there. If you've seen the trailer, you've seen the third act. There's a cameo in there that they spoil long in advance, and by literally putting a character's name up on the screen for you to see. Weirdly, Agent Shavers is missing from this. I can't figure that one out because he's in both of the first two. He was like the Q character. They've replaced him with Nina Dobrev and never explained why.
Is he the guy that he's kind of like a buddy cop?
Yeah, that guy, yeah.
He actually died.
Did he die?
Yeah, I found that out like when I was watching.
Oh my god, I had no idea.
Yeah, he died 2009.
Whoa.
Yeah, took his own life as well.
Okay, that's dark.
Yeah,
okay,
sorry.
I apologise for berating the film for that then. Congratulations, xXx3, you are let off for that one. Wow, okay.
Yeah. I didn't mean to bring the show down, but I'm just...
Okay, do you know what?
This is life sometimes, man.
Can we just say that xXx3 is the best of the series? It's a low bar to begin with. Donnie Yen's the best thing in it.
Yep.
Please don't make any more of them. Give me some film news.
Do you believe...
In magic?
Apart from that... Do you believe that white men can't jump?
Well, I'm half and half. I can barely jump, so possibly. I don't know.
Yeah. I am white. If you cannot already tell from my voice.
Yeah,
and if you've ever seen a picture of me, you'd be like, "Wow, he's white. He's the whitest person I've ever seen."
True.
He is milk.
You can't jump though.
What?
You can't jump though.
I can jump a little bit.
So why are you asking?
I'm asking because there was once a film called White Man Can't Jump, and because we're now in 2017 and nobody can think of any new ideas, we're getting a remake.
There are no new ideas anymore.
That's it. We're done. We're done with new ideas.
We're done with new ideas.
Yeah,
we're on the third Smurfs movie, so, you know.
Which I'm going to get to in a minute. We are getting a remake of White Man Can't Jump.
Isn't this is from the guy that makes that TV show Blackish?
Yeah, have you ever watched Blackish?
I never have. Isn't Lawrence Fishburne in it?
Pretty good, yeah. I've seen a couple of episodes.
Lawrence Fishburne,
Anthony Anderson is the lead. He is the dad.
Ah, right. I never because there were two shows about the same time came out about the same time with completely African American casts that were both quite high profile. One was Blackish, which was the comedy one, and then there was Empire, which is Nashville for rappers, as you call it.
Oh, it's just trash. Just utter enjoyable trash.
I am looking forward to starting Empire.
But, White Man Can't Jump, just in case you've never seen it. I know you have.
Oh, I have.
Some time ago.
It's Woody, man.
Exactly. The basic premise, Woody Harrelson is an amazing college basketball player who basically goes around to like different basketball courts and is like hustling black basketball stars for like
they
money.
Assume white men can't jump.
Exactly. And then he takes them on and then obviously wins, gets all their money.
Oh my god, how are they going to invert this for the 21st century? It's going to be girls. It's going to be girls. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah. White girls can't jump.
And then there'll be a Twitter campaign.
Hashtag not my white girls.
But that's totally going to work. So that's going to be Kenya Barris, I believe is the name.
Kenya Barris.
Kenya Barris is writing and producing it.
Yeah, it's a good story. And I always enjoyed that film when I was younger, so I'll be up for it.
I always liked they just had that poster that said Wesley, Woody.
Done.
Yes. Wesley,
what's
Woody,
your one?
Done.
Is it Money Train burning together?
They're in Money Train as well, which, by the way, awesome Jennifer Lopez nude scene in that one. But
I concur.
Yeah, there you go. Right, so let's talk real quickly about Lion then.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. This.
Wow. Okay.
I'm intrigued.
Brace yourself because this one's a doozy. So this is based on Saru Brealey's memoir. And it's a true story of Saru Brealey, who grew up in India. And he's about 5 or 6 years old. He is separated from he's out with his older brother one day. He is separated by him and winds up on a train, locked in a train, and winds up sailing off along the railways for, I think it's the equivalent, it's 1,600 kilometres. He goes for 2 days on this train. All he has to eat is a single apple. And he winds up in Calcutta. No one speaks the same language as him. He speaks Hindi. I forget what they speak. Might be Bengali. And anyway, so he doesn't speak the language. He's stranded. He lives on the streets. Eventually, he is put into a foster care facility. And after a long time searching for his family, they give up effectively and they put him up for adoption. He is then adopted by an Australian couple, actually Tasmania or Tanzania? Which one is it? I forget.
Tasmania.
Tasmania. And they are played by David Wenham and Nicole Kidman.
David Wenham, incredible.
Yeah, David Wenham in full Aussie mode, which is awesome.
It's always good to see, isn't it? Is he wearing an eye patch? A la 300.
He's not, but he has got an awesome side parting.
That's good.
Because it's set in like the late 80s. It's set in the 80s, and the childhood years. So, unlike what you're expecting from the trailer, where, it looks like it's all set in his adult years and there's some flashbacks, no, the first half, it all takes place in chronological order. And what happens then is he grows up with his Australian adoptive parents. It flashes forward to show you that him then as an adult. He is then played by Dev Patel, and he is going into hotel management, and he basically puts his studies on hold to follow this obsession he has with finding what happened to his family. We have a clip of him being confronted by his girlfriend about this, said girlfriend, in fact, being Rooney Mara. So enjoy.
Saru! You need to face reality.
What do you mean, reality? Do you have any idea what it's like knowing my real brother and mother spend every day of their lives looking for me? Huh? How every day my real brother screams my name. Can you imagine the pain they must be in not knowing where I am? Huh? 25 years, Luce. 25!
Why didn't you tell me that was happening for you?
We swung about in our privileged lives. It makes me sick. I have to find home. They need to know I'm okay.
Dev Patel there with an Australian accent, and he pulls it off as well.
Does it well.
He really does.
Yeah.
Right, okay, he's amazing in this. He genuinely owns this. He's so good in it. Same time, great supporting cast. Rooney Mara, David Wenham, and of course Nicole Kidman. And Nicole Kidman shows up in what is clearly going to be her best supporting actress nom for this year. Even though if you tote it all up, she probably has about 6 minutes of screen time.
Yeah, she's doing a Judi Dench.
She's doing a Judi Dench. It's
doing
about, about 6 minutes of screen time. But you know what? She makes the most of it. David Wenham, as well, to be fair, makes the most out of really limited screen time.
Yeah, he's always one of those actors. Just fantastic to see.
Exactly. Solidly written, solidly directed, really well put together. I like that it isn't your standard, it's all in the adult years with flashbacks. I like that the story is allowed to unfold in its own way. They do pull that trick towards the end where they do get the real people in. Like over the credits, they show you the real people. There is one moment...
Peter Berg in it, I believe.
Sorry?
Peter Berging it
yes.
is what I'm going to be calling it from now on.
I know what you mean, yes.
Pulling a Berg.
Peter Berg, yes, exactly. But unlike a Peter Berg movie, though, the bit over these credits will genuinely reduce you to tears on its own. I mean, the movie does that thing that The Imitation Game did, where it tries to have an agenda over the end credits, where it brings up the legend. Only this, at least, has some relevance, to the story, rather than tacking on an agenda after the fact, like The Imitation Game did. Really amazing film. It will move you. It will just chill you to tears. It is so solidly gripping. A lot of people took it very cynically in our screening, and a lot of people didn't. There was a dividing line. You are either going to get very cynical about it, or you are going to roll with it. I would advise roll with it. Just take your time. Ride the emotional wave, and just let it wash over you, and you will feel better for it.
With the latest film news and reviews, this is Offscreen.
My wingman anytime.
And we're back. Do you want something rare and unique now, Mr. Allen?
Is it a steak?
Why would it be unique? Well, mind you, I suppose,
It depends what the animal is. Is it a unicorn steak?
Every cow is individual.
It would be rare and unique.
They're all unique. Right. How would you like a contemporary set, completely, more or less original British superhero film?
I prefer a steak, but I'm fine with it.
Would you like one that starred Maisie Williams?
Yes.
Yes, there you go. Okay. Because any actor from Game of Thrones, you think, okay, yeah, I'll watch them. Yeah, why not? Right, so Netflix's iBoy. worst title for anything ever. It's up there with Lone Survivor as one of the dumbest titles I've ever heard of for a movie. So iBoy, based on Kevin Brooks's novel. This is the story of a young teenage boy played by Belle Milner who one day walks in on a gang messing up his love interest's flat. He then runs, tries to call the police on his smartphone, is shot in the head, and pieces of the smartphone wind up in his head. And wouldn't you know it, they give him the power of effectively electrokinetic abilities. I would say technokinetic abilities.
All right, how? But
well, do you know what? Doesn't
Science.
particularly matter. They don't really push their luck with it, to be fair. And the concept does exist in other forms, because this is actually technically what the plot of Iron Man 3 should have been. If they'd followed their source material properly, this is what Extremis did to Tony Stark. So, you just raised your eyebrows like, wow, really? Weird. Absolutely, that is totally what happened in the comics. Anyway, so he then decides to become the vigilante iBoy. Does it in a very plausible way, scarf across the mouth, hood up, goes around tormenting the gangs, trying to get them out, and they have a leader, and he's played by Rory Kinnear. Because why wouldn't he be? By the way, iBoy's grandmother is Miranda Richardson.
Really?
How depressing is it that Miranda Richardson is now old enough to plausibly be someone's grandmother? I still think of her as Queenie. But, okay, so there's no clip for this one. There's only a single trailer. Right, performances. Ben Milner, who you might remember as young Magneto in X-Men First Class. Terrific. Really liked him in this, really downplays it. When this was a concept trailer, it was, what's his name from We're the Millers? You know the one? Eyebrows. What's his name? Eyebrows from Maze Runner and We're the Millers. Son of Rambo.
Why has it gone out of my head?
Oh, what do you know?
I've got a computer right in front of me. Why am I stressing?
Will Poulter. His name is Will Poulter. Here we are.
No, his name is Robert Paulson.
Will Poulter was in the concept trailer.
Why can I not think of Will Poulter? I'm sorry, Will Poulter, if you ever listen to this. You were great, Revenant.
Yeah, sorry, Will. Sorry, man. We have high hopes for you in life and everything. We just forgot. I'm sorry, man.
You won that BAFTA.
Rising Star?
Yeah, you won Rising Star BAFTA a few years ago. Well done.
Yeah, so great performances from Ben Milner taking over for Will Poulter. Actually, really good performance from Maisie Williams as well. Really liked her in it. That's it. It's stylish. It doesn't overplay its hand. It works its concept quite plausibly. Quite one of those ways that you can't really talk your way out of it. The way you can normally with a superhero movie. There's a brilliant alibi in there, how that no one knows that he's iBoy, and it really works. It is a genuine, fully fledged superhero movie for the YouTube generation, and also for the British YouTube generation, which is really, really something. I really enjoyed it. But,
sounds pretty interesting. I'm going to check it out.
This is going to be available on Netflix from Friday the... is it 27th next Friday?
It is, yeah.
So Friday the 27th. So, yeah. So, So I would check it out. It is worth it. It's a tidy 90 minutes, basically 85 minutes with credits.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you're a Skins fan and you fancy a superhero movie, might be for you.
This is it. Yeah. Is anybody still a Skins fan after all this time?
Well, they did that special a couple of years back, didn't they? And that seemed to be quite popular.
Dev Patel's doing well for himself.
He is, yeah. Should we finish the top 10 then?
Why not?
Number 5.
Passengers.
Which it's sexy people in space being sexy.
Fitties in space.
Yeah, doing some sexiness. And they're sexy and the film's sexy and
it knows it.
It knows it, but it's not up to much besides being sexy and vaguely entertaining. And that's really it.
Number 4.
Assassin's Creed. I got bored even saying that.
Yeah, you know what? It's bear in mind, this is a movie that takes place mostly in flashback. So there are no consequences to much of the plot. I mean, really, like, it's hard to get invested in a journey that you know is already over.
Yeah. I think even as someone who is not into the games and stuff...
I'm not particularly into the games. I am into Michael Fassbender, though, and Jeremy Irons, and I'm very much into Marion Cotillard. And however, all of them deserve better than this bilge.
Number 3.
What can I say except you're welcome?
I'm so happy this is finally doing so well in this country.
I am
number 3. Moana.
7 weeks? Is it 7 weeks now?
Yeah.
And it's still making some money, over $1 million.
Making some decent bank,
It is. And you know what? Moana's good fun. And, Dwayne Johnson, worthy addition to the Disney pantheon. And I like Moana herself as a Disney princess. And there's a diverse one as well, because that's becoming sort of
a really diverse
rare.
one, and she she don't need no man.
She don't need no man. She does need a chicken.
Yeah. Well, everyone needs a backwards chicken.
Everyone needs a backwards chicken voiced by Alan Tudyk, and who's also in the next film. But it's
a Tudyk twosome.
It's a Tudyk twosome. Yeah. Oh wow, his name, man. How does he? He must have been picked on in school. Had to be.
Alan Tudyks.
Yeah, he had to be picked on in school. Yeah. But that's getting bleeped in the edit. Right, I did like Moana. I don't think it's one of the best Disney films, but I did like it very much.
I mean, there's been 55 now, man.
There's been 55. I don't think it's in the top 10 of the 55. But, but that's only because I'm such a fan of Home on the Range. But I'm kidding.
I'm wearing a Chicken Little t-shirt right now.
Nobody's a fan of Home on the Range.
Number 2.
Wagwan, a Star Wars story.
Loved it.
Yep.
Loved it again. Then I went and saw it a third time.
Did you love it again?
I loved it a third time as well.
If you saw it a fourth, would you also love it?
Well, the fourth will be with me, and I'd very much enjoy it.
Oh.
I am one with the fourth. The fourth is with me.
And then the fifth time, be Revenge of a Fifth.
There you go. No, I love it. I think it's so well put together.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't believe...
Despite all the rumours.
Yeah,
it's so well put together.
It's so sharp. It's so concise.
It's really well paced as well.
It is. And it is very much the shot in the arm that Star Wars, I think, needed to push it away from. Not everything has to be a story of Jedis and Dark Jedis. Yeah. It's nice occasionally. You can have other things.
2015 was like, yes, we've got it back. And then 2016 was like,
this is what we can do with it.
We're doing now.
Yep. We got it back. This is what we can do with it. And you know what? Totally on board with that. And of course, it's got K2SO and Donnie Yen. And every movie needs K2SO and Donnie Yen.
Number 1.
La La Land.
Go on, give me this one, Kate.
I loved it.
I also loved it.
Come on! It was just
it's a grand old song and dance, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's not to love?
I feel like right at the opening, it can be easy to feel cynical.
Right, there are issues with it, to be fair.
Yeah, no, I'm just talking about one particular bit, like one big when it opens and it says something.
Are you on about its opening musical number, or are you on about specifically the credits, the kind of the placards at the end?
Specifically the opening placards, where it just seems like it's playing on nostalgia. And
funnily enough, I have to talk about one of those.
Go for it.
Right, okay, so it does open with a couple of old school cinema. It says placards.
Presented in CinemaScope.
Right, that's the and it is actually in CinemaScope. That's the really interesting part. Now, the weird part about that as well is, and I'm not sure if it's a dimensional thing, but apparently Ryan Gosling's unquestionable physical beauty is such.
He's a fine specimen of a man.
He's a fine specimen of a man. I mean, let's be if the human race is ever dying and we need to send DNA specimens into space to preserve the human race, let's start with Gosling.
Him and Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, we get those. We stick the DNA in a jar and fling it in space.
Off we go. Yeah.
Right. So he can look good even when his face is compressed into CinemaScope. Emma Stone, noticeably less so.
I don't think I picked up on that.
Right. We will go through. I'll see if I can find the clip online. And like that. There is one very specific moment in which Emma Stone's face is contorted by CinemaScope. And you're just looking at it thinking, what's wrong with the screen? And then you realise what it is. It's the CinemaScope. And it's very, very strange. I did, that aside.
Yeah, squash faces aside for a second.
Squash faces aside, which is unusual in a Hollywood film.
Yeah. Great name for a band, by the way, Squash Faces. Just remember that.
Very true. Yeah. But other than that, I did really enjoy it. I liked that it's a musical that isn't all music all the time.
I mean...
Is there about 6 songs, you'd say?
There are 8 songs.
There are 8.
There are musicals that have music all the way through that I absolutely love. There are musicals that have music partway through that I love. This falls into that latter camp. Songs are great, performances are great, cinematography is stunning.
Oh, yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah, some really inventive shots.
Who actually was the cinematographer on this one?
Do you know, I'm not sure, and I'm going to look it up, but yeah, my final word on it was worth all the hype.
You know what? Good enough for me.
With the latest film news and reviews, this is Offscreen, the on-screen radio show.
And we're back and dancing. So, let's do the final review of the week then, which is for Split, and then you can take us to the bridge with some film news.
Take to Matthew's Bridge.
Exactly. So, Split, which brings back legendary, iconic, millennial filmmaker... Mr. Night Shyamalan, who repopularised the twist back in 1999 now, would you believe?
He did. Yeah. What twist was that?
It was a Sixth Sense. And it was...
I didn't realise it was a twist from XXx.
It was, yeah. It was Bruce Willis was a tax attorney all... Oh, no, he was dad all along.
No!
Bruce Willis was dad all along.
Did not see that coming.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it coming. No, he was dad. And it was kind of weird because the kid kept saying, I see dad people. But he came from a single parent family, and I feel like that was the twist. I see dad people. And you're like, well, it's not really surprising. You got issues. But anyway, so neither here nor there. And then there was Unbreakable, in which, that was about unbreakable people.
And then there were Signs, where aliens who are allergic to water come to a planet that is...
Two-thirds water. Yeah, and then there was The Village.
This is kind of where it's like Signs.
Yeah.
I do like Signs.
Great, and then it starts to go down. And then there's The Village when there's not really a village but a preserve. And then there's The Lady in the Water, in which there's a lady and some water.
And then the happening where the villain is wind. And Marky Mark says this. What? No. Which is just the best.
Marky Mark explained his role in The Happening as, they wanted me to play a teacher. How often am I going to get to do that in my career?
Yeah.
Believably.
I need to be a teacher. I need to be an inventor. It's my acting bucket list.
And it did give us the great line of dialogue. I'm an inventor. My name's Kate Yeager. And okay, so anyway, back to Split, in which 3 teenage girls are abducted from a shopping mall by a mysterious assailant who happens to look an awful lot like a slightly shaven-headed James McAvoy. They are
Professor X.
Exactly. They are incarcerated in a weird basement room, it seems to be, and one of them is one of the 3 girls is sort of a social pariah, and she's played by Anya Taylor-Joy from The Witch.
Oh, right.
Whom you wouldn't recognise because she looks entirely different with a different hair colour. She was blonde in The Witch, and she's got raven hair in this, and you can't it takes you a while, but is that it is! You can't recognise it. Right. It very quickly emerges, though, that their kidnapper is not simply a regular maniac. He's kind of a next-level maniac. He also has a split personality. To be more specific, he has 23 of them. And...
Whoa.
Yeah, there are 23, and James McAvoy will play as many for you as he can. And the whole issue seems to come to a head as a 24th personality begins to emerge. And this 24th personality may be stronger than any of the ones that preceded it. And of course, the 3 girls in the middle kind of find themselves in a fight for their lives against something they cannot possibly be prepared for. Now, we have a clip of exactly what happens when you meet one of McAvoy's more feminine personas.
Is she in that room?
We're here! Help us! We're in here!
What is this? How many are there? No. Don't go in there. Don't go in there. Don't worry. I'll talk to him. He listens to me. He's not well. He knows what you're here for. He's not allowed to touch you. He knows that.
So James McAvoy there as Patricia, one of his many personalities. Cool. And the weird thing is, so it is McAvoy in full drag, but without the wig. So he is still stood there with a shaven head.
I've seen that picture.
Yeah, and he's got the physicality perfect. And this is the thing about his performance. His performance is exemplary. And I mean genuinely brilliant. Anya Taylor-Joy, same thing, but of course she's not got the fun to work with that James McAvoy has. McAvoy has so many... I mean, one character called Hedwig, who's a 9-year-old boy with a lisp. And
this is great. Yeah, he has so much to do. Yeah,
you can imagine how much fun he has.
You know, it wasn't actually going to be James McAvoy originally.
Who was it originally? I did know this. Who was it?
It was going to be Joaquin Phoenix.
That's
crazy. Isn't it? Now, makes sense given the director though.
Now, having said that, this is the second collaboration between M. Night Shyamalan and Blumhouse, who have brought you. You did want to think last time around we're going to bring a much needed bit of trashiness to the otherwise very stoic sort of M. Night Shyamalan material. And I'm not calling him M. Night. It's M. Night Shyamalan. That's it. If it's good enough for the janitor, it's good enough for me. Anyway,
Dr. Jan Ito.
Exactly. If it's good enough for Dr. Jan Ito. Anyway, The film, sadly, though, isn't very good. And it's not that it's badly directed, it's very well directed. No one's ever said that Shyamalan can't direct. He's always been a great director, but he's always been a very classical director. Here, he's trying to inject a little bit more of that Blumhouse oomph into it. And it does show, and it does work. And there's some genuinely creepy, hair-raising sequences involving McAvoy in pursuit through this. And yeah, really genuinely creepy, atmospheric, does work. Problem is, it's not terribly well written. It's not terribly interesting.
Has he written it as well?
He has as well, yeah. And you do come away from it thinking, really, the performances are the best thing in there.
So I really, really like the premise to it.
It's a great premise.
Yeah.
Now,
it's like, how has it not been done before?
Yeah, exactly. Now, I have to address one thing about it, and I have to do it in a very specific way. I can't spoil the film.
I'm assuming there's a twist, because it's night.
No, it's quite a straightforward story in one sense. I mean, it's like The Visit in the way that Shyamalan's not trying to be clever. Not like he used to be. I think he's accepted that those days are behind him, and it was a one-trick thing to keep doing. So this is like The Visit, where it's a lot more straightforward. There is a sting in the tail, though, and it does come at the very, very, very end. Not after the credits, but at the very end of the film. And it's not even plot relevant, or it's not really relevant to the film, but it's something. And it's, if you heard it, if you read it on a forum, if you read an article about it online, you would think it was made up. You wouldn't quite believe it's there because it would sound too ludicrous. Just those 30 seconds are going to make or break this film for you, I think. And I came away from it thinking those final 30 seconds are a little bit condescending, they're a little bit wacky and tonally weird, and at the same time, the only thing I really took away from this was James McAvoy's great as 24 different people, and Anya Taylor-Joy is still a delight as she was in The Witch. So, yeah, make of that what you will. Give me some film news to take us to the end, then.
Give you a little bit of film news. Okay, let's end on some rumour.
Some rumour? What you got?
Rumour. Okay, so Hugh Jackman this week.
Huge action.
Huge action. Huge Jackman. He is a huge
Jackman. Yeah.
Exactly. In the week, he posted a picture of him.
Yes.
You know where I'm going with.
I do know this, actually.
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds, who, of course, is Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got Wolverine and Deadpool together. This is interesting.
And then you also have James Bond. You have
Roger Moore himself.
He will never be my Bond.
Hashtag not my Bond.
No, you have Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan, who actually is my Bond.
Yeah, he is literally there.
He's on our office
poster
wall.
form.
He's actually on our office wall in the GoldenEye poster, framed. Yep.
Being in Fleming's James Bond.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the caption is Wolvie, Bond, and Wade.
Yeah.
But they're all sort of pulling different poses, aren't they?
They are, yes.
So I believe Hugh Jackman is like covering his eyes or his ears. No, Hugh Jackman is covering his ears. Mm-hmm. Pierce Brosnan is covering his mouth.
Yeah.
And Ryan Reynolds is covering his eyes. So it's like, have you guys got a secret? Are you not telling us something?
I think so.
And of course, what we're all waiting for, we're all waiting to hear who's going to be playing Cable.
In Deadpool 2. And do you know what? I would be happy with Pierce Brosnan.
I'd be really happy.
It's so
it
out of nowhere,
sense.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those casting decisions that's like, it's unexpected, but if it's true, yes.
And also, for Pierce Brosnan, this could be that Liam Neeson in Taken moment.
Exactly.
That, oh wow, he can do other things.
Which is interesting, because Liam Neeson and Mel Gibson, those kind of names have been banded around as like your obvious choices.
No one considered Brosnan.
Nobody considered Brosnan. Yeah. Like, I would have been happy with Carl Chandler. I would have been really happy with Carl Chandler.
Don't you ever count Remington Steele out, man. Don't you ever count Remington Steele.
Prove me wrong, but I would be really, really happy if that came to fruition. I would. And you know, I think it is. I think that's it. I think we found Cable.
I think so. So next week,
what have we got?
We've got some interesting stuff. Should we do film of the week first? I'm going to give it to Lion.
Yeah.
Definitely
no surprises there.
No surprises. It's so good. Next week,
can I give mine to Goodfellas? Because I've seen it.
Well, Goodfellas is like film of the century. You know,
film of the 90s.
It's like one of the best films of the last century, Goodfellas. So, you know, make of that what you will. Next week, though, interesting stuff. We've got Denial with Rachel Weisz, Timothy Spall. That's the Holocaust denial movie.
Yep.
David Irving.
Not film about the big river in Egypt.
No, not film about a river in Egypt.
Denial.
So we go from this got pointed out to me. So a movie about a guy who denies the Holocaust, and from there we go to a movie directed by Mel Gibson, and And yeah, I think it was
amazing.
I think it might have been Alan Frank who pointed that out.
So there's going to be a certain theme for next week.
Certain theme. So Hacksaw Ridge is next week. From there, you go to Heroin Addicts with T2 Trainspotting, which I can't wait for.
Yeah, please be good.
Please, look. Have you seen the soundtrack list?
Yeah.
Did it blow your mind?
It did.
Did me as well. Sing is next week, which is basically Illumination Animation. Do the X Factor.
Essentially, yeah. Garth Jennings, of all people, has made that. It's pretty interesting.
We've got Christine, which is not to be confused with Kate Plays Christine, which we reviewed last year. Which stars Rebecca Hall as, I forget her surname, the news reporter who blew her brains out. We've got The White King, which I know very little about, I'm going to confess, and Camera Person, which is a documentary I've been wanting to see for a while. So we've got all those to come and more next week. Off screen. In the meanwhile, this has been a Candy Store production, but on screen. I've been Van Con.
I've been, as always, Kase Allen.
And we'll be back next week.
Just show me the way to get out of here, and I'll be on my way.
You've been listening to Off Screen. For more news and reviews, visit onscreenfilm.com.
Podcast extras then, Mr. Connor. I've got something to say.
Okay, go on.
I've got an opinion.
You've got an opinion. Well, it is that kind of program. You know, opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one.
Exactly. And speaking of arseholes, Patrick Stewart is a piece of shit.
That's a bold statement. Is this anything to do with his Brexit tweet?
No, it's to do with the Emoji Movie, where he will be playing.
he's the emoji, isn't he?
He is the emoji. We're really enjoying podcast sections, but we can.
Yeah, we were going to put it in the regular edition, but we couldn't find a way to say it and make it funny without using the word.
Yeah. So Patrick Stewart, I do love him. He will be.
But he'll be brilliant. He'll be good.
He will be good.
He'll be the.
He will be.
He will be the. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So the Emoji Movie just finally got something going for it. Because
it's got T.J. Miller. It's got T.J. Miller.
I mean, that was it. That was the only thing it had going for it, though, was it's T.J. Miller.
It's got Stephen Wright as well, who was a comedian I really
I've
like.
I've seen Stephen Wright in years.
Yeah, but like just him voicing a cartoon.
Wow.
How has that not been done?
I don't know. That's a brilliant idea. Stephen Wright. I used to love Stephen Wright's work. But
it's going to be like Marvin the Paranoid Android, isn't it? Just really slow and just...
I think he's got to be like a sad face, surely.
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah, got to be, yeah. But, well, it's going to be, that's fine, at least a reason to watch it. It's like American Dad. Patrick Stewart's the best thing in American Dad, for instance.
Yeah, he has been for a while. Like, American Dad, it's never really dipped in quality for me. I've always liked...
No, American Dad's always been brilliant. But,
but he's always been a highlight for
Steve Smith, Ricky Spanish. We're shooting guns and doing cocaine.
Ricky Spanish.
I never thought I would live long enough to hear Patrick Stewart shout the words, "We're shooting guns and doing cocaine."
I think he really revels in doing that.
I think he does.
That just has a great time.
I think he does.
Hey, Julia Roberts is going to be a Smurf.
Julia Roberts is going to be a Smurf?
Yeah.
I've not heard this, really?
She's going to be a Smurf.
Okay.
Because, again, 2017... It's got to be a reboot, even if we just started a Smurfs film a couple years ago.
Hang on a minute. So the Smurfs 3 is a reboot? I mean, I knew it was animated.
Yes.
But I didn't know... I knew it was kind of going to be all animated this time. But
they're essentially using it as a reboot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, does it have anything to do with the fact the first two sucked balls?
It's probably got something to do with that. They didn't particularly do well as well.
Well, I'm sure like most of these films, they made most of their money in China because that's all that matters now.
But yeah, she's going to be playing a character called Smurf Willow.
Smurf Willow?
Smurf Willow.
Oh, Smurf me.
Okay, for Smurf's sake.
For Smurf's sake. Enough of this smurfing Smurfsons. Right, so let's talk about the Janis Joplin biopic. Yeah,
so weird.
Were you looking at that as well?
It's literally on my screen. I was just about to say it.
Fair enough. This was going. Who was it you wanted to play Janis Joplin?
Amy Adams.
It was Amy Adams.
Yeah.
Okay. I was under the impression when you were saying that it wasn't happening.
As far as I was aware, basically what happened, Michelle Williams was courted for another Janis Joplin.
That was it, yeah.
And it it turns out that it wasn't the same one that Amy Adams was working on with Jean-Marc Vallée.
Ah, okay.
But now Jean-Marc Vallée and Amy Adams are not working on that, and I'm assuming it's because this competing one with Michelle Williams is in the pipeline.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one is essentially dead, which is a shame. But I'm okay with a Michelle Williams one.
Hey, why not? I mean, Michelle Williams will do quite a good one. But
she can sing. Yeah.
But having said that, the idea of having Amy Adams do it is that's so good.
Yeah, like just on paper, that feels like the film that she gets her Oscar for.
I have a weird thing with. I mean, I'm not particularly a Janis Joplin fan. I'm really not. I mean, when we saw the documentary, was Little Girl Blue? Little Girl Blue. Now, I really liked that documentary, but I liked it as someone who isn't a Janis Joplin fan. So, the idea of doing a Janis Joplin biopic only really appeals to me because of that documentary, because that documentary has shown you could make an interesting story out of it. But other than that, I'm not particularly bothered in... It's not like... But it's like the Freddie Mercury biopic. I want to see that because I'm a huge Freddie Mercury fan. I find his story fascinating. I find the man fascinating.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure if he'd been real, we'd have been BFFs, man. We would have. Yeah, me and Freddie.
You and
Farouk. Yeah, me and Farouk. We'd have been buds, man.
But you're not rushing out to go see it to see Rami Malek.
That's the thing. I'm not in that case. In this case, I think you might be going out to see Amy Adams. I don't know.
But, she would definitely be bringing people in.
I think she would.
Yeah. Just in this day and age.
Jean-Marc Vallée directing it as well. That's really interesting.
Yeah. Who did Wild, Dallas Buyers Club, Demolition? You remember that?
Oh, I do. Yeah. I was a big fan. I was more of a fan of Demolition than most people, it seemed.
Loads of people really did not rate it.
A lot of people really disliked it. Really I put it in my shortlist for the top 10 of the year.
Yeah, I never got around to seeing it, really.
I really liked it. I thought it was a great Jake Gyllenhaal performance. And was it Jake Gyllenhaal or Tobey Maguire? I always forget.
Why do people always get us two mixed up?
I don't know.
It's not like a Pullman Paxton kind of a...
It's true. One of my favourite movies of last year is getting a sequel. I'm so happy about that. Goosebumps, baby. Goosebumps is getting a sequel.
And when does it come out, son?
It's 2018. What's the exact date now offhand? I don't
know. The last one came out in February, I remember.
I did have this written down. Hang on. It is in 2018. Jack Black is coming back for it.
Good.
He's confirmed.
Yeah.
Rob Letterman, the director, is coming back. Darren Lemke, who wrote the first movie, is coming back.
So it's it's the whole team?
It's none of the younger cast are confirmed.
Oh, interesting.
So Dylan Minnette isn't confirmed.
That's a shit. He's your boy.
He's my boy, man. Dylan Minnette's not confirmed. Odeya Rush. The sort of like 15-year-old Mila Kunis, best way to describe her. It's going to be January 26th next year. So, that's
a similar kind of release date then, I guess.
I feel like he's got... Actually, that's kind of weird. Jack Black's going to kind of be going from Jumanji over to Goosebumps, which is weird.
Strange. Because Goosebumps felt like Jumanji.
It really did.
Yeah.
But it was the Jumanji of horror. And, I'm cool with that. Still awesome.
The Jumanji of horror.
The Jumanji of horror. Why not?
That's good.
What
have you got?
Have you heard this legendary story?
Yeah. Tell us about it. You can.
Thomas Tull.
Yes.
Who's the founder,
he's stepped down.
He has?
Yeah.
I'm shocked at this. So he's the founder and, until kind of the other day, CEO of Legendary Entertainment. Now, most people won't care about Legendary Entertainment, but they should.
And I'll tell you why.
They should. I'll tell you why.
Because I've got opinions, damn it.
I'm gonna go Lewis Black on this one. But the thing is, odds are one of your top 10 favourite movies of the last decade was probably made by Legendary Entertainment. So, any of the Dark Knight movies, 300,
people
Interstellar,
forget, yeah.
Pacific Rim, I don't think what else I've had. There's loads of
Godzilla,
there's loads of these Legendary Entertainment. You don't realise how many films they've made. Tons.
Yeah, they really built up a good filmography of late.
They really did.
Of the last 15 years.
That's it. I think he was a banker before Thomas Tull, but I met him once years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Thomas Tull is kind of like Lorenzo de Bonaventura. He will never...
Sony producer, yeah.
Yeah, he will never turn down a press event for a film he's produced.
Right.
So, Godzilla, when I did the Godzilla junket a few years ago, Thomas Tull was there. Oh. And I think, weirdly, he didn't turn up for Interstellar, though. Emma Scott, who's... Emma Thomas.
Wife, yeah.
Emma Thomas, who's...
Chris
Nolan's wife. She was there instead, I think. And, so Thomas Tull was there for Godzilla.
I once saw Chris Nolan walking out of Tesco's.
I remember you telling me this, yeah.
With a pint of milk. I was on a bus at the time.
I remember you
and
telling me, and my observation was, I always assumed he'd be more of a Waitrose guy.
You would think, wouldn't you?
You would think.
Yeah.
I imagine if Christopher Nolan was going to go and buy milk from a supermarket, he would take an ornate, specially designed, ergonomic, ridiculously expensive glass container, and he would carry it with both hands down to just a nondescript, unmarked, glossy store. Somewhere on Park Lane.
And someone would just be like, hey, mate, why can't you just get a CGI bottle?
Exactly. Right. No.
He'd be like, because practical is better.
Practical is better. He'd go in, and from a luxuriant Japanese cow, they would specially produce just enough milk to fill his one of a kind.
And not to drop more.
Exactly. And then, once the cow had finished producing the milk, he would be taken away and no one would ever see him again, so that no one attempted to do the same thing again.
Yeah, the cow would go to one of the dream lairs. Or the weird bookcase where Matthew McConaughey was floating.
And that is
one of the two.
And that is how you get a cup of tea when you ask Christopher Nolan to make it.
He's always got his little coffee cup on set, hasn't
he? When we did the Interstellar junket, he had one of those weirdly expensive, those nonsense cups that you buy that are like 200 quid.
Yeah, ergonomical cup. Yeah.
He had one on the table in front of him. And I just remember thinking, only Christopher Nolan would have one of those.
This is going a bit off topic. I have got my own travel mug.
Have you got your travel mug?
It is from Starbucks. It is green and gold. It is sparkly. I received much derision from it from my colleagues at work.
I have a Batman one.
I need a Batman one.
Yeah, I have a Batman one, but I left it in my mum's house when I visited last. And she acted really weird when over the phone she told me, "Oh, you left your mug behind." I went, "Oh man, I left the back up." She's like, what? What's a oh,
oh, you're 32.
I'm 33, but thank you.
You don't look a day over 32.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
So this is what a compliment is.
This is what that feels like
when compliments cry. Cool. Richard Armitage. Have you heard about him?
Oh, what film's he gotten now?
He has got Ocean's 8.
Ooh, yes.
This is really interesting. So actually, I've got double Ocean's 8 news.
Okay, go on.
Ocean 16, if you want. So, Richard Armitage and James Corden.
Yes, now I heard this.
The Carpool Karaoke's of the Late Late Show.
I don't know who Richard Armitage is going to be, but James Corden's going to be an insurance investigator that's chasing them?
Yeah, he's sort of like hot on their heels.
This sounds
I like the sound of that.
I like the idea that he's going to be like the Rene Russo character in the Thomas Crown Affair.
Yes.
I hope there's just a scene where... let's see. I hope there's a scene where Rihanna does a sexy dance with him and does the whole Thomas Crown thing. Do you want to dance? Or do you want to dance? That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Just confirm Pierce Brosnan for Cable already.
Please do it. Please do it, Fox. Come on. We all sat through Independence Day Resurgence. You owe us this.
Yeah. Throw us a bone, man. But yeah, Richard Armitage, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and any theory who he might be?
I don't know. His character from Vicar Dibley. Maybe there's a crossover.
I know Damian Lewis never gets any mention for this anymore. He's playing the Mark. He is
the Andy Garcia. For lack of a better term.
I got a film we got to talk about.
What's this?
Right. News this week broke. There's a film coming out called 7500.
I've not heard of this.
This is going to be an airline thriller set entirely in the cockpit. And it is
sounds already, I'm on board.
Right, I'll give you the concept, right? Hijackers take the plane. That's it. And there is one co-pilot left in there, has to, save the day. He is played by Paul Dano. Yeah, I know. That look, there you go. There you go, baby.
Oh, man.
I know. How excited are you now?
Very excited.
Exactly.
Oh, that's great.
That's going to be awesome, isn't it? I think it's been made by a first-time director.
Like
it's a German co-production, and...
The only thing that would make it better is if Daniels were directing it. But then also the plane that just would be Daniel Radcliffe's corpse.
Very true, very true. And, okay, let's see what else we got.
What have you got for me?
Oh, there's a story this week that's come out that... do you remember Jeremiah Chechik?
I feel like I should with a name that good.
He's the guy that directed that god-awful 1998 Avengers adaptation. Not the Marvel Avengers one.
The Ralph Fiennes.
John Steed and Emma Peel one. Yeah. He directed that. He, about 3 years earlier, though, he was going to direct Seven.
Really?
Yeah, he was in place to direct Seven. Now, Andrew Kevin Walker was still the writer back then. And basically... what happened was the ending, as we now know it, of Seven. Right, was always there.
Which is incredible.
That's one of the things you remember about our movies. One of the big things you remember is, what's in the box?
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Oh, God! Ah! Oh, God! But...
that is one of those films. Let's tie it in with Night. Let's have a Night kind of spoiler thing. It's one of those films. I love watching that with someone that's never seen it.
Oh, yeah, so good.
And
so
just
good, isn't it?
watching it.
Oh, I love watching it because you can tell for about the first half they have no idea why the hell they're supposed to be liking this.
And it's even better if they don't know that Kevin Spacey's in it.
It's very true. Although I feel like we've just outed that.
You've had 20 years, people.
You've had 23, 22? 22.
Oh my God, yeah.
22 years, isn't it? So.
We're old.
But, okay, so, the ending.
Detective.
The ending was always there, right, in the original Andrew Kevin Walker draft. Now, Jeremiah Chechik boards the project. He's going to direct it. He demands that ending get changed. Doesn't like it. He wants a different ending. So Andrew Kevin Walker...
He's a fool.
He's a fool. But the man directed the Avengers. 1998 Avengers. Of course he's a fool. You know, I think he directed one of the Steven Seagal millennial sort of reboot things that he was doing as well. You know, like Exit Wounds or something like that. Like one of those ones.
Executive Decision.
No, that was like 96.
Is that really what it
was? Like 96.
That's the Kurt Russell one, isn't it?
Only movie... at that point was the only movie in which Steven Seagal was killed.
Yeah, he does die.
Yeah, it's the only movie he ever died in.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, so so Andrew Kevin Walker obliges. He changes the ending for Jeremiah Chechik. So you got Seven, you got a great ending, gone. No, now you got a pedestrian ending. Jeremiah Chechik then decides, I ain't going to direct Seven, I'm done. So, you know, the studio, New Line, they start looking for another director. They happen upon that weird kid who did that Alien movie no one liked. You know, Finchy Boy, yeah, and that was it. He still kind of was that back then, wasn't he? Seven is the film that made him.
Yeah. Where does the game fall into this?
97.
Games after that.
Games 97.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it's Seven, the game,
Panic
Fight
Room.
Club.
Yeah,
then Panic Room
after Fight Club. Yeah.
I can't remember what's after. I'll get there eventually with it. But I'm a huge Fincher fan. I love me some Fincher.
Yeah. What's after Panic Room?
I don't remember exactly.
There's something between that and Benjamin Button.
We'll get there. We'll get there, man.
It's going to be glaringly obvious.
It's one of those. We'll look it up later and we'll feel silly. Yeah. But, okay, so they send a script out to David Fincher to see if they can get him to direct it.
Yeah.
They send him the wrong script. They accidentally sent him the first script. He reads it.
Oh, amazing.
Reads it, loves it, loves the ending. Loves it because he loves how it all comes together. Goes back to the I will totally do this. And they're like, oh yeah, listen, we kind of sent you the wrong script. They give him the Jeremiah Chechik script. Says, yeah, I'm not interested. I'll see you later. I'll go. They're like, no, wait, Dave, come back. Even though you're available for pennies at this stage in your early career, if you want to do it. And he's like, cool, there you go. And then we got Seven.
And then David Fincher was born.
And this all comes this week, courtesy of Andrew Kevin Walker, who's told us the full story. And he, of course, became good friends with Fincher, and they've done a lot of things over the years.
So, what was that retconned ending?
I don't know.
That's what I need to know now.
I don't know.
I feel like you fed me a bit of the sandwich, and now I need the whole sandwich.
There are so many stories about what might have been with Seven. Like, it's kind of like having when Michael Stipe was going to do it. And,
he was going to be the
He's going to be John Doe.
Yeah, it's going to be John Doe. And I may have just outed who John Doe is. Yes. So, Stranger Things.
I'm a fan of Stranger Things. Did you hear about those kids at the Emmys, at the Golden Globes? Was it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, they went round and took selfies with literally everyone at the Golden Globes. Fair play.
I don't know.
If I were 11 years old and at the Golden Globes, I know what I'd be doing.
Did you see the Jimmy Fallon opening to it?
No.
Well,
I've seen none of the Golden Globes.
Okay.
Except for the part where white actors kept referring to the winners of certain films as starring in Hidden Fences or Figures. You know?
Come on, Michael Keaton. You're still in people's good graces.
Okay,
Come on, don't ruin it.
If anyone should know about a faux pas at an award ceremony, it's Michael Keaton.
I know.
Okay? It's not called Hidden Fences, Mike. Put your speech away and get it together. Do you know what it was? He was prepared for being able to speak at an award ceremony. That's what it was.
That's what it was.
He's so used to being shut down from speaking at an award ceremony. So
okay. It'll always be Batman to me. Like the Billy Joel song.
Yeah.
It'll always be Batman to me.
He'll always be the antagonist of that really great Andy Garcia movie, Desperate Measures, to me. There is.
He'll always epitomise white noise. Let's see how many obscure
movies.
Michael Keaton's.
We forget as well. He's the overseer of Need for Speed as well.
I've tried to forget that.
It was on TV recently.
Oh, man.
I watched like 5 minutes. I'm like, good lord, this sucks.
Let's talk about some great Keaton. I'm going completely off topic. I'll get back to it.
Yeah, what was the Stranger Things thing?
I'll get back to it. Let's talk about Mark Keaton for a bit.
Yeah,
Multiplicity. How good is that film?
I love that
How
movie.
good is that film?
I Thief.
I Thief. I Thief.
I love it because the really gruff one gets named Rico, doesn't it? Yeah. So this is the movie in which Michael Keaton clones himself.
Yeah.
And I had a conversation with Mark Kermode about this months ago, and I can't remember why.
And then this film has sort of been cloned and copied by many other films and many other shows.
Yes, exactly.
It's so good.
Oh, yeah. Even Red Dwarf had a stab at the plot of Multiplicity.
This film is going to be remade at some point soon.
Yeah, it's going to get remade as a Kevin Hart vehicle. And
I would not be surprised.
I wouldn't be. I can actually see it being either a Kevin Hart vehicle or an Ice Cube vehicle.
Yeah, it could be an Ice Cube.
Actually, no. Ice Cube, I don't think has the self-deprecation needed to do Multiplicity.
I'd like it to be a Charlie Day vehicle.
Oh man, that'd be good.
That'd be really
That'd be
good.
so good. Oh,
yeah.
Man. Okay, yeah, I'm sold. I'm sold.
Range,
Charlie Day in Multiplicity. Yeah, I can see that.
Anyway, rewind, bring it back. We're talking about Stranger Things. I was talking about the kids at the Golden Globes. That's what we were talking about.
Yep.
Basically, the Golden Globes, the opening video to it was just a riff on the opening of La La Land.
Okay.
But it had loads of people who were like nominated for Globes this year. So
were they the ones getting out of the car instead?
Yeah, so you had like Evan Rachel Wood from Westworld getting out of the car, and you had John Travolta from the OJ American Crime Story thing.
Okay,
he was there as well. And then, do you know the bit in La La Land where like the truck opens and there's guys with drums and stuff?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, the truck opens and it's the kids from Stranger Things. The doors fling open, they're there, and then they do this weird kid rap thing. Okay. And do you know when you see like really bad kid acting?
I've seen The Visit, yeah.
Yeah, it felt like that. It felt like, what's the kid's name from The Visit?
I don't know, I just remember him as Ho.
Oxenbold.
Oh, yeah, Oxenbold. Ed Oxenbold.
Ed Oxenbold.
Yes,
that's it.
From No Good, Horrible, Bad Day.
Alexander with No Good, Terrible,
Horrible, No Good,
Very Bad Day.
Crappy Day, yeah him.
It felt like that, and I feel like I'm seeing I'm seeing them too much, the kids from Stranger Things.
Okay.
I need to see season 2 and see them as the characters, not just these like these preteens.
Is this bit of film news? You're just sick of seeing the kids from Stranger Things?
No, I was going to start talking about Matthew Modine being in the sequel to Sicario.
If that works, then every week I'm going to introduce a piece of film news. So I've got some film news for you, Case.
And I'll be like,
Miles Teller can do one. I'm sick of seeing him. I think he's awful. I think he's sputum with speech. I think he's
first of all, word of the day, sputum.
Yeah, I think he's the acting equivalent of pond scum that has somehow been allowed onto screens far too often.
I know if you felt so strongly about Miles Teller.
This dead-eyed faux Vince Vaughn exterior, like he's the new generation Stifler, because apparently it worked out so well the last time around, and yet we're.
I will not abide ill-gotten words about Sean William Scott, sir.
I genuinely respect Sean William Scott more than Miles Teller, and I'm not even kidding now. I genuinely respect Sean William Scott more.
You've got a level of respect for Goon.
Yeah, that's what it is. Do you know what?
I like Goon.
Yeah,
Goon's all right.
Fair. I'm waiting for Goon 2 this year,
As am I.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. No UK release date yet, though.
Not yet.
None.
Give it time.
We shall see.
I'm sure we'll get it. I don't think Miles Teller's that bad. I'm so glad that he did not appear in La La Land. Because it was supposed to be him and Emma Watson.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah.
And Kase, my wife, she said, I kind of wish I was still in it, because I've never seen them like sing and dance before. And my response to that was, there's probably a reason for that.
It's like, I kind of wish that Miles Teller had starred in Buried, and that it had a different ending. Mainly,
and it was actually a documentary.
Yeah, kind of like that. But I just really dislike Miles Teller.
I know. I think all the listeners of the show.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm lonely at night. I'm curled up in bed, and I just think about horrible things happening to Miles Teller.
You've got your Miles Teller voodoo doll.
Yeah, exactly. I just think about horrible things happening to Miles Teller on screen, and it makes me feel better.
What films has he died in? I don't think he's died in anything. Has he died in anything? I thought you would have made a montage of him.
No, I don't think he has died in a film.
I can't remember.
But I really wished he died in War Dogs.
Not on purpose,
but And I really wanted J.K. Simmons to slap the piss out of him in Whiplash a little bit more than he did.
I was going to say, because it is quite vicious.
Yeah, I know, but, there's no slicey, no stabby. And,
No slicey, no likey.
I just really, really dislike Miles Teller. I find him just awful on screen. Anyway, going back to Matthew Modine. We have taken like a 10-minute diversion for me to hate on Miles Teller.
Why does Matthew Modine promote so much hate?
I don't know.
It's
because he was in that movie Bye Bye Love. He was in Bye Bye Love. You know what? That's what it is.
Point. Yeah.
The McDonald's-sponsored divorce movie.
Yeah. He's in the worst of the Dark Knight films.
He is. Yeah, okay, fine.
Come on.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
But, don't get me wrong, Dark Knight is the most overrated, but still... I'm not saying it's bad.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
That wasn't me. That was the internet, sharpening its pitchforks for you.
You know what? Chris Honeysett got torn apart for ragging on Deadpool, so I'd imagine they'll kill me.
Oh, did he?
He really did. I don't think he knew how Twitter worked at the time.
And suddenly all of London stopped.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Matthew Modine is going to be in the sequel to Sicario.
To Cutthroat Island. Oh, okay. To Sicario.
Can you imagine if that got announced, got made?
I want them.
And it was like a huge success.
Do you know what they should do? They
It'd be amazing.
They should sort out the rights issues. Right, next Pirates of the Caribbean 6, right?
Yeah.
Matthew Modine and Gina Davis turn up as the characters from Cutthroat Island, and they just
Shared
do
Pirate Universe.
crossover Pirate Universe. Boom, there we are. Mic dropped. Hollywood one. There you go.
I don't even know what else to say.
Where do you go from there? So Matthew Modine's going to be in Soldado, you say?
Yes. So there's a few people that have been attached to it so far. Benicio del Toro will return.
Yes, he will.
Catherine
Keener.
Catherine Keener, yeah, absolutely.
And Josh Brolin.
Is Josh Brolin
Brolin's back. Yeah, he's back. He's back as, is it Graves, the CIA agent?
Yep.
Yeah, he's back. And Catherine Keener's going to be the boss, and Matthew Modine is some government person.
Some government guy.
Who is he?
I feel like that's who he plays now.
Secretary of Defense. He's the Secretary of Defense. That's it. See, I know things.
So not William Hurt. He's not going to be.
Not William Hurt. Have you seen the TV spot for XXX3 that just spoils a massive cameo?
I have not, but I feel like I can guess what it is, and I will guess off air.
Yeah, you guess off air. Oh, Beauty and the Beast theme.
Yeah, so we've heard Emma Watson sing.
We have heard. But the actual theme song...
What do you think? Oh, has that been released?
Have you not heard who's doing it? Have you not heard this?
This is news. Is it Ben Folds?
Can I just show you an image? And I want to hear you die slowly inside.
Wait a minute, before I see it, is it Fall Out Boy and Missy Elliott?
Yes, it is. Oh! I love that. Your hand scrolled along and you saw John Legend and you looked
I was like, it's John Legend.
Then you moved your hand further along and you saw Ariana Grande and you looked disappointed. Right, I'm going to let you in on something. Every time I see Ariana Grande, I'm never disappointed. Except that she's not a cup of coffee, which is what she sounds like. But...
yeah, can I have one Ariana Grande, please?
Yeah, I say
caramel Ariana Grande.
I feel like Ariana Grande is something I should order in Starbucks, but I'm always happy to see Ariana Grande.
Yeah, I'm happy with John Legend, less so with Ariana Grande.
Well, they are going to do things, and the theme song's actually going to be in the film this time as well.
Okay, so it's still going to be the Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, it's still Beauty and the Beast, but like the Celine Dion version isn't actually in the film.
Is it Celine Dion and Peabo Bryson?
I think something like that, yeah. But that's not actually in the film. It just exists in the world.
It's played over the end credits, isn't it?
It's played over the end credits.
I believe so.
This one apparently will actually be in the film. So, yeah.
But there are new songs that's been written.
There are new songs.
By Alan Menken.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Beauty and the Beast sounds like it's going to be more of a musical than La La Land, so...
Yeah, but Beauty and the Beast is a musical.
Exactly, yes.
There's no taking away from that. It is a musical.
But Green Lantern Corps.
Oh, yeah. We've not talked about this yet. Let's talk about it.
Okay. It's now been confirmed.
Let's talk about the good things about it.
Okay. It's going to have Jon Stewart in it. Who's
that Jon Stewart?
Not the great late night... not a late night presenter, is he? Not the former Daily Show presenter.
Yep.
No, it's going to have Jon Stewart, the Marine-turned-space cop. Noticeably also a black lead in a superhero movie for a change as well. Him and Hal Jordan, who's, of course, the character Ryan Reynolds played in the last Green Lantern movie. That's the good stuff. Let's talk about the bad stuff. David S. Goyer is writing it.
Because it's DC.
Because it's DC. Now, asking David S. Goyer to write your film, it's like hiring a cannibal to babysit. It's just ill-advised, and it's going to end badly, and no one's going to enjoy the results. That's really the best way to call it.
So Will Smith, it's not been 100% confirmed, but he is in talks to lead Dumbo. So being the Tim Burton.
Doesn't it have someone in line for the villain as well? I did hear this.
Is that for the villain?
Yes.
So also, there's another cast member.
Yeah, it's a biggie.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
But I did not know that's a villain.
That's the villain of Dumbo, yeah.
That'd be great.
There is also a rumour that apparently, if Will Smith takes Dumbo, Bad Boys 3 gets dumped back again, possibly scrapped. So, yeah, cheers, Will. Do you know what? I absolutely believe he'll do, because he's clearly shown
I'm sure.
Doesn't give much of a toss about his existing franchises. News I loved, by the way. Peter Dinklage.
Again, all the news I was going to get to. You're ruining my news.
Please take.
No, you can talk about it. I don't mind. That's fine.
Peter Dinklage has entered talks for the Avengers.
Yay! Yay! Awesome. Yeah, no, really, really happy with that. Who do you think he is?
There's so many rumours on this one.
There's loads.
Apparently,
maybe Puck? Potentially Puck?
I don't know. Apparently, it is going to be in Infinity War and the follow-up, though. So Peter Dinklage is going to join for both films.
I think The Watcher.
You think?
But if he's going to be The Watcher, that ruins one of my favourite MCU theories ever.
That Stan Lee
is The Watcher. Yeah. Which I just, even if that is not true, I want it to be true.
I don't know, they keep adding cast members with ties to Thanos and so Karen
Nebula.
Gillan. Yeah, Karen Gillan. Nebula, she's joined.
Nebula's confirmed.
But they seem to keep saying, "Oh, this person's been cast as Thanos' cloakroom attendant," and
this is Thanos' cousin twice removed. This is Thanos' gardener. This is
Thanos' perspective guy, and his job is to stand in photos and make Thanos look tall.
I love that the perspective guy wrote Empire.
Yes, he also wrote Lee Daniels' The Butler and the Hunger Games series. Yeah. This is Thanos' guy to kick him in the nuts and remind him where he came from. They keep casting random people to Thanos and leave him. But do you know about the Anna Kendrick thing?
Yes. In fact, I've got two kind of things. Not two things about Anna Kendrick.
Oh, okay.
You'll see where I'm going.
Shame, I like Anna Kendrick.
So Anna Kendrick is going to be Santa.
Yes, she's going to be Santa.
This is also for Disney. So, in sort of like a weird Fred Clausian sort of way, she's going to be the daughter of Santa Claus.
Yeah.
He is retiring, he wants to pass over the mantle goes to her.
I read, I think, that she has a brother who has
ensues.
Performance anxiety and can't do it, so she has to step in.
Is that brother Fred Claus?
I hope. You know what would be really funny if the brother is like Justin Timberlake?
Oh,
that would so work.
Yeah, that would happen.
Lewis Black is Santa. Justin Timberlake.
You love Lewis Black today.
I've always been a Lewis Black fan, but because he did that really great piece on Trump's inauguration on the Daily Show this week,
which I still, in fact, after we wrap up,
we'll catch it. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of Lewis Black. The movie Accepted, I love him in Accepted.
Yeah,
even though he is just playing Lewis Black.
He's being Lewis Black,
but
he is anger.
He is anger.
Yeah,
but
personified to me now. Yeah.
That's so weird, because when he was on the Daily Show doing that inauguration bit, I was thinking to myself, he hasn't done anything for a while, Lewis Black. And I somehow forgot about Inside Out.
Yeah. He was so good.
He was, wasn't he?
Yeah. But yeah, sticking with the Santa Claus.
Congratulations, San Francisco. You ruined pizza.
So good. Sticking with Santa Claus. This was announced a while ago, and I think people were like, what? And then completely forgotten about it. Mm-hmm. There is another Santa project that was announced with Kevin Hart.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, we brought it up like a year ago, wasn't it?
A long time ago. But nothing's really been mentioned about it. Not for a while. So
I know the Anna Kendrick one has the working title Nicole.
Nicole, yeah.
But, could be good. We don't know.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I like her. She's talented. She's a talented girl.
Yeah. So what was the other piece of news?
We've got a few more pieces to take us out. So Lucasfilm have said that there's not going to be a CGI General Leia.
Ah, okay, that's fair.
No more CGI
That's
Leia,
fine, yeah.
Which, completely fine with.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
Absolutely. What else have we got on the docket? Right. Another rumour.
Mm-hmm.
So, the villain to Wonder Woman has potentially been announced.
Do you know, I've forgotten this. I did know it for about 2 minutes. That's my attention span with DCEU films. I remember them for the length of the article I'm reading, and then I forget, and I just feel disappointed.
Or you just read the title and you're just like, nope.
Yeah, I just read the headline. Oh, DCEU film. No, I don't care.
That's me out.
Yeah, I'm out. Yeah, I'm out.
I'm out, son. I'm out. Cool. So it's been announced that the villain is potentially Ares, who is the god of war, and he's like a classic big-time Wonder Woman bad guy.
Yes, there is also a rumor this week that
which would be cool.
Apparently, according to someone at Warner Brothers, Wonder Woman is a mess.
Yeah, well, yeah,
which I absolutely believe.
Yeah, I do, which is a shame because I was somewhat hopeful for it.
Apparently Justice League's a mess. Apparently Wonder Woman's a mess. At what point are they going to just throw in the towel with this one?
The point where they're just like, oh, hey there, Grant Gustin. You can be a flash on the big screen.
I would love it if they start one of these, like Aquaman.
Just give it to Kreisberg.
You know what happens? You know what happens? Aquaman opens with Aquaman wakes up, gets out of his waterbed in the morning, and gets out of his waterbed, and he uses his loofah. He doesn't need to get in the shower. He just stands there and uses his loofah, and then all of a sudden reality starts changing around him. A portal opens. Grant Gustin comes out, and says, "Whoops, I did it again." And then leaves, and all of a sudden, Gabriel marked his Batman, and Gabriel marked
all of the goodwill is then restored.
Yeah, exactly. And Stephen Amell is the Green Arrow, and Wonder Woman's Kobe Smulders, and yeah. All
I mean, that's never going to happen as long as Maria Hill is around.
No, it's true.
But that would have been a great casting as Wonder Woman.
Yeah, it would have. Yeah.
Canadian Wonder Woman.
Would have been funny, wouldn't it?
That'd be good.
She would have been terrific.
Are we ever going to get a Captain Canada film?
No.
Are we ever going to get a Captain Britain film?
No, though there was a rumour, wasn't there, about 3-4 months ago that it was going to be a thing?
There's a rumour it was going to be a show. I think it would work as a show.
It was going to be a show, and then there was a rumour that, what's his name, who I don't like, Jack something.
Jack O'Connell, I would have been fine.
Yeah, Jack O'Connell, that was it, yeah.
The guy that was in, was it War and Peace? It was on BBC a while ago.
Who was in War and Peace?
Forgotten the dude's name. Good-looking chap. Forgotten his name.
Tom Hardy?
This is your answer for all the good-looking chaps.
Yeah, you said good-looking chap to me. I think Tom Hardy and I think Ryan Gosling. And
he was in Happy Valley.
You think I watch British television?
What am I talking about British shows?
I don't watch British. I don't even have an aerial in my house, man. I'm not even kidding. There's literally no aerial fitted on my house.
Not one Little Mermaid.
No, I despise British TV. But
no, you don't. Not all British TV.
Okay, I watched an episode of Spooked last week, which was about the last British series I genuinely enjoyed.
Luther.
Luther. Okay, I liked Luther. I didn't like the recent revival that much. Doctor Who can be good sometimes.
That's about as much praise. Sherlock.
The last 2 episodes were really good.
I've not seen the new series.
The last 2 episodes were really good. The first one I thought was a bit poop. It was a bit Patrick.
It's a bit... Which is our now... It's our new euphemism for poop.
It's a bit Pat Stew.
Bit Pat Stew.
It's a bit Pat Stew. It's a bit Pat Stew. Yeah.
It's been on Pat Stew side.
Yeah. Is that it? Have we got any more film news then?
I'm done.
Well, there we go. Out. On which note, here it is.
Your moment of Cage.
And right now, I'm working on about an hour and a half sleep over the past 3 days. And I'm still trying to remain courteous. I'm beginning to think that that's getting in the way of my being effective.